Welcome to the fourth season of Youth TV show produced by Leadership Academy.
In today's episode, we are featuring the final round of Nepal's Top 7 Young Poets 2013. Nepal's Top 7 Young Poet is a reality television show produced by Leadership Academy with broadcast on the national channel and TV+. This show aims at providing young poets a platform to express their creativity and further encourage their poetic endeavor. This show also promotes intellectual competitiveness amongst the students and helps them to do better in their studies and life.
Let me now introduce our panel of judges for today's final round. Our first judge is Mr. Santosh Shah. He is the founder of Leadership Academy and president of today's Youth Asia.
Our second judge is Mrs. C. Dolma. She is the vice principal of Budanil Kantha School.
Our third judge is Mr. Sachendra Manandhar. He is an author and a poet. His works have been published in several anthologies and journals in America, Australia, and Britain.
Our finalists in the sixth category, Bachelor's level English language, are Hemantika R.L. Palikhe from Kathmandu Engineering College and Kripendra Amatya from KU Center for Art and Design. Congratulations to all the finalists for making it to the final round in this national poetry competition.
May I call Hemantika R.L. Palikhe to recite her poetry.
So much for modernism. I'm everywhere you go. You cannot live without me. Forget about a day, not even a minute. And no, you thickhead, I'm not love. Well then, what am I? Facebook? Twitter? Instagram? Cell phones? Internet? Well, wrong again. I am air. I'm the wind, the breeze, the storm. And you, people of the modern time, think that you're advancing, making things comfortable, easy, and safe. But where you see comfort, I see slack, laziness. Where you see safety with your armed police, I see war. And with your technology of vehicles, missiles, explosives, and their factories, you've turned me into your disaster. Remember the time when you were afraid of wild animals? But look where you stand now. Your inventions, your people, and the monster that you've turned me into has harmed you more than everything you try to run away from. So much for modernism. Don't you think? Thank you.
I'd like to call Kripendra Amatya to recite his poetry.
My poem style is peeping hole. Let's peep through this peeping hole and peep into private lives. Let's peep through the private lives. This peeping game is played by law. These secrets are also revealed in public sight. Some visuals are just illusions. Some visuals are just illusions for people to think that's true. Let's live in this virtual world and play this blame game too. Play this blame game too. Thank you.
Now we will have the second round of poetry recitation.
The title of my poem is Back. A change, something new. That's what modern is. You strive for it. You compete for a better life, so you plan, scheme, and work to achieve it your whole life until you realize that you never actually lived. I'm sorry. Can I start from the beginning? Back. A change, something new. That's what modern is. You strive for it. You compete for a better life, so you plan, scheme, and work your entire life until you realize that you never actually lived. We have overcome the selves that believed in monsters, but today we know we have, but we want more, so those monsters live in us, around us. Before, we used to be prepared for the beasts. Today, we're prepared for the zombie apocalypse. Back then, we had groups. Today, we have countries, parliaments, and parties. We haven't actually grown or changed, have we? We're forward, modern, we say. But we're stuck in the same time zone. The only difference, the names and the faces. In the name of modernism, we are going down, back to the basic human instincts of war, hunger, and sexual attraction and nothing else. But then again, this is the modern era, isn't it? Thank you.
My poem is dedicated to 5 elements of nature known as Panchatattva. It is my mantra of modernization. My poem style is, thank you. O forest, I thank you for your trees I use for furnishing. O fire, I thank you for burning to clear my space. O air, I thank you for accepting my smoke and dust. O rivers, I thank you for washing away my waste. O space, I thank you. In you, I keep my material wealth. O time, I thank you. For you, let me spend you for my own sake, Thank you.
Hemantika, Kripendra. In poetry, we don't have do, re, mi, fas, so we have to use alliteration, allusions, rhyme scheme, sometimes metaphors, sometimes imageries and stuff like that. And then you both have performed well, but I think, in terms of performance, Hemantika did a little better. But as for the content, we have form and content in poetry. Both of them had very good contents. So, commenting upon individually, Hemantika's use of imagery, allusions, they were all very good. And no doubt, the presentation was full of power and full of panache. That was a very good part, And then for a poet, that's a very good plus point. That's a plus point, I would say. And in case of Kripendra, his poems have good content and I would say a good form also. That is to say, he has given right words for his thoughts and stuff like that. And his presentation was no doubt good, but I think Hemantika had a little edge over Kripendra. So that's it from my side.
Sir was absolutely right when he said that Hemantika, you've got the panache and your poetry recitation was powerful. Okay, I liked your confidence, and I think you had your intonation, just on the dot. Okay, diction was great and very spontaneous. Okay, the spontaneity in your delivery was remarkable. I thought you had great choice of words in both the poems. Even the just singular words which you use in certain places, they were so powerful. And I particularly liked the conclusion of both the poems, the last lines. For the first one, for example, very effectively you said, don't you think? I thought that was a very great way of ending that poem. And the second one, the irony came out so marvelously when you said, this is the modern era, isn't it? I thought you really underlined the irony very well. Kripendra, I really liked both your poems. And I thought you used your voice very well. The softness and the loudness, you really played well with your voice. And I must say, I liked the second poem a lot. I thought that was really unique, and I can see you're from Kathmandu University Center for Art and Design, and I thought I could see that the visual part. I could visualize some of the lines from the second poem. So the visual effect was also very strong. As you recited, I could visualize what you were saying. Talking about each of the 5 elements, there was a sort of the visual part was also very obvious. And again, thank you for that wonderful poems and wonderful recitation. Okay, both of you did very well.
Hemantika and Kripendra, I enjoyed listening to both your poems. You both are very clear and you have great content and you describe them very well, very clearly. So I liked both of your poems. Category 6, Bachelor's Level English Language. The winner is Hemantika Palike.
We have come to the end of today's final round. If you are a student studying between grade 7 and bachelor's level, you can apply for Nepal's Top 7 Young Poets 2014. The application submissions are now open.
You can call our office at 425-7250 or 980-203-2195 or send us an email at youthtya@gmail.com. We will be back next week with another episode of Youth TV Show. Have a nice week. Namaste.